Hey, welcome in everybody. This is Todd here with another update on the Scott Fish Bowl 11 squad and trying to look at how it is doing here. So let's get into what that squad looks like right now. As you saw some of the draft, I was very excited actually after we saw J.K. Dobbins go down that I had Gus Edwards in there that I would be able to play pretty much day in and day out or week in and week out and get those 15, 20 fantasy points that would be going to the running back position there. Unfortunately, we saw him go down with an injury prior to the start of the season. So that was very unfortunate for myself and just my outlook for the Scott Fish Bowl in general and potentially winning it anyway. So kind of a fail on that end. And but let's take a peek here. We got the record over here. You can see Zilla Fantasy Elite. We are 2-0 with 342 points for, 232 points against. My opponents actually have been pretty poor at scoring against me so far. So even though I've been doing really well in the points per game department, about 160-ish, 160, 170 range both weeks, or 160, 180. So I'm right around 171 per week. So that's pretty far up there. And you can see 2-0. And let's go look actually at what we have here for this particular, not division. So I'm in the Madonna division, but in the conference. If we go look at the conference, you can go look at reports, franchise. Actually, I think we want so difficult to navigate on my fantasy league. So standings. Well, let's go look at our power rank anyway. This will give everybody his overall thing for per the league. So this includes 8 other divisions in here beside, well, 8 others including the Madonna division. And we can see power rank, alternate power rank, win-loss. This person, if he had played every person, in both weeks, he'd have 173 wins and only 17 losses. So that's actually pretty good. After week 1, I was right at the cutoff. I had one more victory than I would have had losses, and I had a pretty solid week 2. So I'm actually sitting at 124 and 66. So I got a 65.3% win percentage, which isn't too bad. Considering there's 96 total teams in here, I'm sitting at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 at Sarah Lewis, which is in my division. 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30th. So I'm 30th out of our entire 8 division league. I am 30th out of 96 at 124 wins, 66 losses. So that's pretty good. Just looking, as you can see here, 181.74 last week, 161.16 the week before. We got a pretty solid squad going. Obviously doing well compared to everybody else and who they're starting. I do want to just go over my particular franchise and let's see what we want for a starting lineup this week. In roster, it's very difficult to actually submit lineup. There we go. So we have an option between Derek Carr, Justin Fields, and Jimmy Garoppolo. Justin Fields getting his first start this week. I would love to put him in there and just see him destroy Cleveland, but he didn't look that well against Cincinnati, or he didn't look that good against Cincinnati last week. It is his first start. Considering Jimmy Garoppolo is playing Green Bay, and they have been pretty poor at defense just in general and stopping the pass. I believe Jimmy G is a solid play this week. And we have Derek Carr versus Miami. Not that Miami's defense is poor by any means, but Derek Carr is leading the league in air yards. He is just chucking the ball like crazy. So those are the two that I'm going to start this week. Then obviously, if you're looking to get the highest upside and score a lot of points, I have Derek Carr stacked with Derek Carr with Darren Waller, and I have Jimmy G stacked with George Kittle. So that's a good correlation right there. Basically, their top two targets, if you want to consider Kittle, Jimmy Garoppolo's top target there. We know Waller is Derek Carr's top target. With that being said, I had a decision here at running back. I didn't want to start A.J. Dillon, nor Ty Johnson, nor Marlon Mack. So I'm just starting Chris Carson and Antonio Gibson at the running back position. It sure would be nice if Gus Edwards was there against Detroit. I would have him in there, and I wouldn't have had to make a decision at wide receiver. So with that being said, we have Tyler Boyd at Pittsburgh. Not a super great matchup, very low over-under on that game, but we saw T. Higgins is out, so Tyler Boyd probably guaranteed double-digit targets this week. I do like that aspect, so he's going to be in my lineup pretty much every week. We see Julio Jones versus Indianapolis. He's one of those guys that's going to be in my lineup every single week. DK Metcalf at Minnesota. He could easily go off. He's in a lot of my DFS lineups this week. He is cheaper than Tyler Lockett pretty much everywhere you go. And between those two, I'm just going to take the cheaper. So DK Metcalf in my starting lineup. Those are the three that I'm going to pretty much start every week for sure. I did have Jerry Jeudy go down after week 1, which was unfortunate. So I'm just holding on to him, hoping that he comes back in time for a playoff run. And hopefully I can make it to the playoffs without him giving me any points and kind of burning up a roster spot there. I just didn't want to drop him and then have somebody else keep him. So for me, I had to make a decision. I had two more starts that I needed between Rondale Moore, Darnell Mooney, Terrace Marshall, who is playing Houston on Thursday night this week, and then Nico Collins also playing Thursday night versus Carolina, Paris Campbell, Marquez Callaway, however it's pronounced, and then Dyami Brown at Buffalo. So just right away, scratched off my board was Nico Collins. He hasn't done anything yet this year, and he's playing Carolina, who has the number 1 DVOA defense going into week 3. Terrace Marshall, same deal. He's probably at best the third receiving option in that system behind Christian McCaffrey and Robbie Anderson and DJ Moore. We saw DJ Moore have a blow-up game on Thursday, but Terrace Marshall and Nico Collins in that Thursday night game are basically off of my list. Jerry Jeudy clearly off my list as he is out. At the time when I was thinking about starting this lineup, Paris Campbell was also questionable. He hasn't played really much this year, and just the way that Indianapolis has looked, they have Carson Wentz starting apparently tonight or today with 2 bum ankles. Otherwise, it's a backup quarterback coming in. He was an easy scratch for me as well. Marquez Callaway, off the list, playing the Patriots. New Orleans has looked absolutely awful on offense. So Marquez Callaway off the board. Buffalo's defense has looked very, very difficult. So Dyami Brown also off the board for myself in this matchup. So it's basically coming down to Rondale Moore, Darnell Mooney, and Bryan Edwards. And as you can see, I picked Bryan Edwards here, and Rondale Moore. So just to give a little idea behind that, Rondale Moore obviously blew up in week 2. He's just explosive. They're playing Jacksonville, and I believe that DeAndre Hopkins is going to play this Sunday, but he's probably going to be limited. They're playing Jacksonville, and I expect Arizona to be up by quite a bit in this matchup. So Rondale Moore was an easy pick there. He already is out targeting DeAndre Hopkins through 2 weeks, which is crazy. And that offense slings the ball around. So Rondale Moore was an easy in out of those last 2 spots. So really it was just between Bryan Edwards and Darnell Mooney. Darnell Mooney I would probably play if I had Justin Fields in there, because if Justin Fields is going to have a big game, especially passing, most likely a lot of that's going to be going to Allen Robinson and Darnell Mooney, so I'd want him in my lineup. They are playing Cleveland on paper. Cleveland has a great defense on the adjusted line play report. their defense is not so good. And I'm just going to blow this, see if I can't blow this screen up for you guys a little bit. There we go. You can see the lineup a little bit better here. Darnell Mooney was probably on the chopping block, just considering the Cleveland matchup on paper doesn't look so well. And really, it came down to Bryan Edwards versus Miami, and seeing that Josh Jacobs is going to be out again, Kenyon Drake will be in there. They haven't been able to run the ball very well, and the main reason I have Bryan Edwards over Darnell Mooney, just besides I think Cleveland's got a slightly better defense than Miami at this moment. Cleveland and Darnell Mooney is an away game, where the Raiders versus Miami is a home game. I do believe Las Vegas is one of the better defensive plays for Week 3 versus Miami. They have the backup Jacoby Brissett coming in. While he is competent, he did not look very good last week coming into the Miami system. So I do like the chances of Bryan Edwards getting some red zone looks, as well as being able to garner a few targets prior to that, just since Vegas can't run the ball very well. I am playing Derek Carr, and if he's going to have a monster passing game, most likely that's going to be going to Darren Waller and Bryan Edwards, volume-wise. Otherwise, Ruggs. And unfortunately for my team, it seems like Kenyon Drake is actually getting quite a bit of run in the pass game. But if that stops, Bryan Edwards could be a very, very nice play this week. So it was between Bryan Edwards and Darnell Mooney. Decided to go with Bryan Edwards simply because I'm starting Derek Carr. I do believe they will score more points than Chicago, and I just want that game environment. So that's what we're going to end up doing this week. Anyway, that's just a quick update on the Scott Fish Bowl. Currently 2-0. I'm hoping I can make the playoffs. What do you guys think? I got Derek Carr, Justin Fields, and Garoppolo at quarterback. Let me know if you think I'll make the playoffs with this particular squad. I just have to finish in the top 6 in my division. Already starting out at 2-0, but there's 4 others that are also 2-0 who have scored more points than me already, and it's not like I've been doing bad. So I got some pretty stiff competition in there. Right now, for me, a weakness I definitely see at running back, Chris Carson, Antonio Gibson. I was hoping Gus Edwards would be somebody that I could pop in on a week like this week where they're playing Detroit. I would have had him in there instead of Bryan Edwards. So unfortunately, I'm thin at running back, but Chris Carson, Antonio Gibson. Then I got A.J. Dillon, who, Aaron Jones goes down. He is already like a top 24 running back, which is good. Ty Johnson's been getting the majority of the work in the Jets system. Unfortunately, that offense looks really bad under Zach Wilson. So he is a play that I can do during these bye weeks. So we have Chris Carson week 9, Antonio Gibson week 9. One of these guys, or two guys on this squad, are going to have to hop in at running back during that week, which is going to be a little rough. But Marlon Mack there, just in case there's a Jonathan Taylor injury, I believe Marlon Mack is going to get a lot of run and somebody that I feel like stashing. Then we have Tyler Boyd, Diami Brown, Marquez Callaway. Cross your fingers. He's had some difficult matchups here the first 3 weeks. Hopefully it gets a little bit better for him after this, because he was my very last pick. And he seems like somebody that should be able to get quite a bit of volume here for the entire season. Got Paris Campbell coming off of injury at Tennessee this week, which he won't be starting, but hopefully he can get back into game shape and start dominating. The guy is extremely explosive, ran in the 4.3s, low 4.3s, like a 4.31 or something. Nico Collins, one of those alpha type wide receivers, big, fast, strong. He could come on late potentially in that system. Bryan Edwards, Jerry Jeudy coming back late. If I do make the playoffs, he's a definite strong play there, just the way that Denver's looking. Julio Jones, Terrace Marshall, if there's an injury anywhere, we already saw CMC go down, so his likelihood of getting a few more targets already goes up. But if Robbie Anderson or DJ Moore go down in front of him, he could be a very sneaky guy. DK Metcalf, provided he stays healthy, he's top 10 wide receiver. Darnell Mooney, I'm hoping to come on late with Justin Fields, so kind of assume Jimmy Garoppolo might be replaced by Trey Lance at some point, but So far, it seems like Jimmy G is playing well. San Francisco has no reason to go away from him. Otherwise, Darnell Mooney, one of those guys when I get into the playoffs, or if I do, I will be probably stacking with Justin Fields and hoping for a monster week. And Rondale Moore, very, very solid pickup here. I started him last week on his big blow-up week. Very glad to have him on my squad. And then obviously George Kittle, Darren Waller, two of the top tight ends in the NFL and also in fantasy. So what do you guys think? Can I finish in the top 6 of my particular division? Let's go see again what our standings are. We have me there, the worst 2-0 team at 342 points for, which is pretty solid, 170. Obviously, you saw me in the top third of the entire league at that. And even if we look over here, we have 377 and 354 also scored more points than me. So I'm actually 6th in the Madonna division in the points for, and I've been lighting it up. So what do you think? Can I make it out of this division? Top 6 make it. Obviously going 2-0 to start works in my favor. Just need to make sure that I finish with about 9 wins to guarantee myself into the playoffs. But there's some stiff competition within this particular league. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Let me know if you think I can make the playoffs in the Scott Fish Bowl, and we'll give some updates throughout the season as this goes on. Obviously, smash that subscribe button for Zilla Fantasy Elite YouTube channel. Otherwise, follow myself on Twitter at Todzilla1337. Lots and lots and lots of fantasy football stuff going on the Twitter channel there. And I would really appreciate a follow, and you might appreciate it as well, as I put out a lot of DFS lineups and information regarding the DFS squads over there. So keep that in mind, and thanks for watching, guys. See you on the next one. Bye.